Kavet. You're listening to Alanui Mele on PBS Hawaii.
So this is Meso, and you're listening to Alanui Mele on PBS Hawaii. Peace.
Listen up, this is Danny One, and you're listening to Hawaii Hip Hop Histories via Alanui Mele on PBS Hawaii. Check it out.
There was a time in hip-hop where streams meant of consciousness. Freestyles was not written verses memorized, but pure spontaneous trains of thought verbally expressed in real time. Every hip-hop scene had their juggernauts, titans you had to clash with in order to know your place and earn your stripes. With one of the most original styles and voices in Hawaii hip-hop, his impression was felt in the rhyme ciphers early to mid-90s with his crew VM, one part of the High State family. He made a lasting impact on other MCs with overpowering panache and intricate wordplay. Later, he teamed up with Jesse Fame to form Moʻilla Pillaz to produce 3 full-length albums in 3 years. It's my honor to welcome to the Alanui Mele podcast, Boogaloo Buzz, Buzz One, Jay Sonic, Jason Tavares.
Aloha, brother.
What's up, my man?
Yeah.
There we go. Here we go. Bruh, so happy to get you on the podcast.
Yes,
You know,
Thank you
we've been covering,
Yep.
I've been trying to do this chronologically, right? But certain crews span throughout 80s, 90s, into 2000s, into now. You know what I mean? And then certain individuals are involved in more than one element of hip hop, you know, which I would like your take on this, is lost in today, the 4 elements of hip hop, right? But you've been involved in all 4, but mainly in the graffiti side and the MCing side. So what is your earliest experiences with hip hop? Something that you can recall.
Oh, yeah. I recall all vividly. So hip hop for me began when my mother moved to Honolulu from Maui when my parents separated. And so we lived on the School Street, Nu'uanu block in the apartments there, Huna Street apartments. And I went to Ka'ulu'ela School. And so I arrived in that downtown Nu'uanu, Chinatown area, Kukui Gardens, Mauna Kea Towers.
Wow.
Kukui Towers, Mayor Rights is right across the thing.
Yeah.
Ka'ulu'ela Housing, and
Yep.
we're living in apartments right across School Street. And so we're all at Ka'ulu'ela School. So I showed up to Honolulu right in 81.
Coming from where?
From Maui, from the
Maui.
Guavas. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You said the guavas. What is that?
Just deep in the Guavas.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
The guavas, like the sticks then.
Like in the country, bro.
Country.
This is Maui in the late 70s.
Yeah.
So this is Maui in the late 70s. So yeah, it was a whole different time and place.
Wow. So what made you move from Maui to Oahu?
Yeah, it's because my parents got
parents
separated.
Okay.
So there was that tower moment in my young life.
Right.
Yeah, where that. And so with hip hop, there's always some, there's
Yes. Yeah.
there's that part of it,
Right.
which is So here I am in first grade, smack dab in the middle of Honolulu at Ka'ulu'ela School,
Nice.
and there's these songs on the radio. Like there's the early stuff was like electro funk, like Zap.
What year were we talking about?
Talking like 81 right now. Nucleus,
Right.
things like that. And so, wow, what is this?
So wait,
I've never heard anything
already
like
in
this.
first grade, you're keen and aware to these
Yeah,
things.
first, second grade. We're
Bro, I
already
was not.
Yeah, it's already because it's like coming out of electro funk,
Yeah,
Zap,
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that, which is already going into they're starting to rap in the
Right,
songs,
right.
right? And Rappers Delight and all this kind of things is floating around. Like
Yeah.
people have tapes, people dubbing tapes off
Yeah.
each other. If you could get a dub,
Right.
like that's like go like, oh,
Yeah.
I got this. I can go home and listen to it.
Yeah.
And then the next step would be like you try to memorize the
Right.
rhyme, and if you could say it, that was super cool because I could memorize
Right.
and say the whole rhyme.
Go back to school.
Right, and say it to your
Yeah.
friends like that, right? And then there's cardboard boxes. There's break-in Hawaii. We're all gathered around it. Even my grandpa, he was an old Portuguese Paniolo. He loved breaking Hawaii, bro. And then we were doing the moves in the living room after we watched the show, and then
It's
so
like
we
the
started
transference of
wearing
creativity. Pretty
wearing
much.
bandanas, like starting to wrap bandanas around, and just little things because you're a kid, you don't have money to buy stuff,
Right.
so you just do little things to try to make yourself hip hop. The way you put your laces,
Yeah.
like I said, cardboard boxes.
What was one of the first verses you memorized from back then? Do you remember?
Yeah, Nucleus Jam on it.
Okay.
And Lottie Dottie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And Lottie Dottie is what? 86. Let me look at that.
Yeah, and check Nucleus too, because this is pretty early stuff. But I remember just hearing the first impressions of hearing those things is like, what in the world is this? I've never heard or felt this way from anything ever before. The first time you hear something like Nucleus, the first time you hear, Midnight Star, the first time you hear things like that, it's like, oh my God, this is a whole new universe, and I want to be a part of this.
So automatically, when you start writing, wait, did you get into writing graffiti first, or you got into emceeing first?
So then by 4th, 5th grade, we had tagging crews.
Okay.
And so the older brothers of my friends, my first tagging crew partner was Christian Padilla, the Padilla brothers, Bongo, Mark, and Christian from Kukui Towers. Older brother Bongo was part of Humanist Party's HP, and he was too much.
Okay.
Too much from HP, which is in and then we had like missionaries. It's all in the blue light stuff. So there was like the older brothers, and we were the little Groms in the elementary school. And so we were copycatting the older brothers. So we had a tagging crew. Me and Christian made our own tagging crew, and then we got invited to the bigger tagging crew, which is in the school called MTS, Master Tagging Squad. So,
I love those names.
Yeah. So no, but I'll tell you something hilarious. My first crew was me and Christian. We both were the only ones that knew about Bob Marley. And so we called our crew EAJ, Expert Artists of Jamaica. And it was just two of us because we loved Bob Marley. And
Expert
Artists of Jamaica, because we knew about Bob Marley. And so in our 4th grade brains, that made sense.
Yeah.
But then we were getting up, so we got invited to MTS.
Okay.
And this is like 4th, 5th grade.
MTS was
Master Tagging Squad.
Stevenson guys, Roosevelt?
No, this is all Kauluela Central.
Kauluela
Yeah,
still.
I'm in Kauluela. Yeah,
right?
right?
So these are like 6th graders then.
Yeah, we're like we're like in 4th and 5th grade. Like
Oh.
And so I think it was like we were getting up, dude. Like Saturday, we'd go on bombing missions. We'd all meet up, and then we would like walk from that area.
In elementary.
Yeah, in elementary, we'd walk from that area to Alamoana,
okay.
bomb everything, like bathrooms and everything, and then come back. And then we got popped one day. Me and Christian Padilla, we got popped at this Waikalulu Gardens bathroom, and then we got arrested. And anyway, and then in the meantime, they were like doing an invest. Anyway, then they came and got us from school another day, and they took us to the police station.
Oh, they got you from school?
Yeah, and they took us to the police station, and they had binders, bro.
Oh, wow.
They had binders, and they had pictures of us, and that was the most eye-opening experience, because I'm like, I didn't even know there was people watching me and taking pictures of me, and they were, and it was just the most crazy.
Wait, they had pictures of you in action?
Because they were building a case against us,
yeah.
and so they had all the evidence. So they had pictures of us in these binders, bro. Wow. And like I'm 4th, 5th grade, like just shook, like oh.
So every tag that you had, they took a picture of.
Well, they went around and got the evidence. Yeah,
evidence. Yeah.
And because they connected those tags with us as MTS. Yeah. And so that was the first experience that this is a dangerous game.
4th, 5th grade.
Yeah.
Take it from school.
Yeah.
To the police station.
Yeah.
And boom, binder.
Yeah.
I've only heard stories of that, of writers getting busted, and then like, boom, the binder comes in, and then.
Right, and it's crazy, like, to think that somebody was watching you and taking pictures of you, and you're totally unawares.
And you don't even have pictures. You're kind of like, hey, can I take this binder or what?
No, I was just shook. I was just shook. I was scared shit.
Okay, then what happened after that?
And then after that, I was kind of like shook from graffiti, and I went into Pop Warner football.
Okay.
And then my mom wanted to kind of like give me some remediation, so she sent me to the school called Academy of the Pacific
AOP,
to try to give me more support.
This is like 6th grade.
This is in 7th grade
7th
now.
grade.
And so I went to AOP, and then I met John Isabello, and I met John Davis, and I met a whole bunch of other people, lo and behold, like we were talking about earlier.
So explain to people, you said those names, right? I know who they are, you know who they are, but for the greater story of Hawaii hip hop, like who is those people?
Okay, so then now me and John Isabella meet at AOP. Our parents ain't gonna pay for us to cut school every day. They're sending us back to public school. Me and John went to Roosevelt.
Okay.
And so John Isabella and I get to Roosevelt, and he's an artist. He draws. I'm already super into Public Enemy at this time because it's the summer like 88, 89, Takes a Nation, the Millions is blowing up. And so I'm really starting to and I was always a poet. I was always a writer. And so that's, I guess, why I was naturally inclined to go from the 4 elements and pursue the emceeing aspect of it. Even when I was in elementary school, I'd enter creative writing contests, and it was always just something that came easy to me. So when Public Enemy and that type of energy was out, it was just like
Like a calling.
yeah, like a calling. And so that was my energy. John Isabella was like a romantic ladies' man with his guitar, drawing Guns N' Roses flowers and getting all the
nice.
girls, wearing skin tight jeans and no shoes.
Oh,
He was a character. And people would tease him, but he got all the girls. He would walk around Honolulu barefoot with skin tight jeans.
Oh,
and
what?
this is like in 89, 90.
that's crazy.
Bro. So when he showed up at Roosevelt with me, like people didn't know what to make of us.
Yeah.
But then when I got to Roosevelt, I met my first Kumu and emceeing.
Wait, real quick.
Yeah.
Talking about John.
Okay.
You want to talk about what he wrote in
John is free VM.
Free VM?
Free
Okay.
VM. But we're not at the
We're not there yet.
We're not at the
Okay.
VM point
You
of
get
the
there.
story.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to make sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, no problem.
So when me and John show up to Roosevelt, that's kind of like what we look like and what the energy is like with us. And I mean, Roosevelt is, you got Papa Clear,
Yes.
you got Ania Niku, you got Po'o Valley,
There you go.
you got Makiki, you got Manoa,
Yeah.
you even got some more Ili. So you got like, there's 2,000 students on campus.
Right,
so
right.
there's a lot of energy over there.
Yeah.
And so we're coming into this now, and there's the senior on campus. Her name is Charlotte MC from Pikaluna. And
She's from Papakolea.
and she's from Papakolea. And when I met her, she was doing what I wanted to do.
Oh.
Her punch, her lyrics, her content. And when she started rapping, people would just gravitate around her.
This is 1990.
This is 1990.
So she might have been rhyming from 88, maybe?
Yeah, she was well seasoned by the time I met her. And her DJ was DJ Elite.
Elite.
And
Okay.
so if you
Shout
go,
out Elite.
If you go in Wikipedia, there's Namele Paleoleo in Wikipedia, which is songs of protest. Alongside Southern Rush, Charlotte Kaluna, MC Frumpy, and DJ Elite are also mentioned as founders of Namele Paleoleo.
Wow.
And so getting to Roosevelt, she was doing what I wanted to do. So I kind of like...
So you got in Roosevelt like what? 89, 88, 89?
89, yeah.
As a freshman.
Yeah.
You see this female MC,
Yeah.
but she's just spitting.
And she's doing all revolutionary, sovereign Hawaiian, like militant raps, because
Yeah.
it's Public Enemy time.
Right.
And so now...
So no other male MCs. You didn't see no other MCs but her.
No, she was the one. It was people aren't rap. It's not cool to rap at this time. Like this is not a
crazy.
time where like
Yeah. Everybody became MCs.
no.
Yeah.
In fact, you get clowned for doing this kind of stuff. You face like, oh, what? You guys think you guys popolo?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's black. Yeah. I was there, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not something that you're getting
Yeah.
clout for.
Yeah.
Like you're doing it because you really want to do
Yeah.
it, and because it's a calling, right? And so, hanging out with Charlotte, I start to and I've always been activist minded, and a thinker and a questioner, etc. Counterculture. This stuff doesn't make sense. There's reasons why we need to dig and find the answers.
yeah.
And so I started to go to rallies and revolution books with her, and
Right.
Coffee Line, which is by Burger King by UH.
Yeah.
Started to go hang out, cut school and go hang out at UH and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because that was just way more fascinating. So I got involved with the revolutionary books community.
Yeah.
And with Charlotte and stuff. And then the rallies were actually the first places that we started to rap at.
Wow.
And so that's really what where I really started to just take emceeing very.
Are we
very
still fighting for
seriously.
the same thing?
We are, and we can talk about why that is too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you meet Charlotte, and you already kind of started rapping, but that kind of put you over.
I knew I wanted to be an MC.
yeah.
I knew I
You
wanted
met
to
her,
rhyme.
it's on.
And like I said, when I saw what she could do, I said I want to be able to do that.
Did Free John wanted to rap? Or he's just
No. He's never
drawing?
No. He's just he was actually a great breakdown b-boy.
Oh,
he
crazy.
could shoulder roll everything,
yeah,
man. Yeah. He was dope at b-boy.
Oh, you guys are
Yeah.
unstoppable then, you and him. Yeah, you guys two had
We do all
it
kinda-
all, bro.
The
MC,
two-man crew.
DJ, graffiti.
And then
all
so
that.
after Charlotte left Roosevelt,
Right. Because she was 4 years older than you, 3-4 years older than you.
yeah, because we were freshmen and she was a senior.
Oh, okay.
And she reluctantly took me under her wing. She went hard on me too,
Yeah.
man. She even told me, as a Caucasian in this art form, that's something that you always have to be aware of.
Yeah.
In your perspective and where you sit in this
Right.
in this puzzle.
Wow.
So
she kept it raw and
she's
real.
deep. She went hard on me. Like before we do stuff, like she make us like you be on your second bar. No, start again. You gotta like. She was like that. She was really like a kumu like that.
Wow.
So MC Frumpy,
Yeah.
the Empress Frumpy. Yup. Then when she left, we continued on with the activist stuff at the school.
Okay.
We'd be like handing out like
Yeah.
the flyers and getting in trouble with the principal because it says crazy stuff on the
Yeah,
flyers.
Yeah.
And then that youth brigade that we started from Caroline and Marnie guys that we met at Revolution
Okay,
Books, which
yeah.
then ties into Radio Free,
Right.
which then ties into Gold Voice, which then ties
Exactly.
into
Yeah, all connected.
right. But it starts out with Revolutionary Books and
Right.
Coffee Line and stuff actually, and jellies.
Yeah.
So that kind of transition into us becoming VM because we were like writing messages on the wall, like activist messages.
Right.
But I already but I was shook to tag from the fifth grade
yeah.
experience, but then
Cool,
now I'm
well,
not
yeah.
that shook no more. Like I'm
Right.
like, yeah, the system,
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
get it, right?
Yeah.
Like and so from that youth brigade, then we made VM.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember the day we came up with the name VM. And then the third member of VM was Shirley Lemos, and she was a girl that I knew ever since first grade from public housing, but she was at Roosevelt too, and she was kind of alone and she didn't have anybody,
Yeah.
but she knew me from Kaluela.
Right.
So I was like, she felt, so like, hey, you want to get Shirley? You want to? Yeah, I'll go. Like she was down, bro. Yeah, she was down. And so it's me, Free, and Shirley.
What did Shirley write?
I think it was like Too Shy or something like
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah. And then there was Free VM. It was always Free VM, and I went through a few different names.
Right.
But yeah,
What is some of those? Can you say some of those names?
yeah, I wrote Bando the Bandit, and then I wrote Toke One, and then I settled on Buzz.
Okay.
At a certain
Toke was
K
K.
one. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
But Free VM was the most
Right. Yeah.
up ever.
Free
you
VM.
couldn't. There was a period where you could not go anywhere in Honolulu,
Yeah.
let alone the island, without seeing a Free VM
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And they waited for him in the park across the street, Old Stadium Park, one day for him to get off the bus, and he said the unders just came.
No
way.
ways.
And then he stopped after that.
Wait. So okay. Can you rewind that story? Do you know how that story started of when they were following him on the bus?
No,
Or
I mean
just-
it's just like with my previous story from
Yeah.
Kaluela. You're up so much.
Yeah.
They're like, F this kid already. We're gonna get this kid already at a
So they
certain
knew
point,
already
right?
what he
Yeah.
looked like, what school he went,
Well,
and they
yeah,
just
they're
waited.
gonna figure out who you are.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Honolulu. Yeah. And plus, if you're out there wilding out and you're not hiding,
yeah.
we weren't shy about things.
I'm pretty sure there was free VM tags in Roosevelt.
everywhere.
So he just followed him.
Everywhere, bro. Everywhere.
So he literally was. Were you with him at that time?
Yeah, we'd be jumping on the bumper of buses as they take it. Like,
Yeah. And so when he got off the bus, you seen him get snatched.
No, I wasn't there
Oh,
with
okay,
him.
okay.
But that's how it happened.
Oh, okay.
And then he stopped after that, went into being a club DJ after
Yeah,
that, and then he eventually became a comic book artist.
Yes.
Yeah. Rest in peace, brother.
Yes.
Free VM, bro. Love you, brother. I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, livicated,
Yeah,
free
livicated.
VM. So then free VM. So was it
Shirley LeBeau, yeah. I don't know whatever happened to her. She transferred schools. And
Yeah.
So then my sophomore year, that's when Chemo
Okay.
showed up to
Right.
Roosevelt High School. And he was always artistic, always musical, always genius, always super creative. But at that time, he was still on the oak tree,
Yeah.
the oak tree thing,
I'm
right?
sure we all were.
And so he saw what I was doing, and he wanted to, just like
Yeah.
how I wanted to do so he saw what I was doing, and so he came and
Right.
and hanai'd himself to me, and then he latched on to VM, and then Albert as well.
Right.
And then that became the nucleus of the VM that you guys met.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Chemo was AKA Casper. He wrote Casper.
Yes,
right?
he wrote Casper,
And then
yeah.
Albert, what did he write?
Ask.
Okay.
ASK.
ASK.
Yep. And then like Sean Kelling and
Yeah.
John Cram and all these other guys from the skateboard scene
Yeah,
all
yeah,
started.
yeah.
And then VM just started growing, and then it started becoming
What was
like
Kelling's name again? Shout out to Sean. He owns a skate shop now.
Shout out to Sean Kelling.
in
Yeah.
Rosewood or Rose someplace in California.
Yeah.
Has his own skate shop. You know, I met him skateboarding and great stories with that guy skating and like learning about hip hop. But so VM was Roosevelt, and this is before High State anything, which is you guys just wilding out.
We're just at Roosevelt. So we're doing like the talent. I'm doing like the talent shows
Right.
and stuff, and then Chemo guys come, and then by junior year, it's like they're just tagging. We're just starting to tag everywhere, and like I said, Sean Kelly, John Cram. There was this other boy, I forget his name, from LA that moved, this dirty white boy. He was just a badass tiger from LA. I forget his name. I'm gonna remember it later. But so we just started, the posse
Right, yeah,
just started
yeah,
to get thick, and the flavor started to get
And plus
thick.
hip hop at that time, 92 on, started just getting way more, like in Hawaii, Yo MTV Raps was popping off, right? You know, and then more records were coming out. You know what I mean? So more of us were getting hip to the game of hip hop, right? And understanding graffiti, b-boy,
and we had
MC.
people like Size at Jellies. Do you remember Size? We used to get the remember for the 12 inches, the singles, he used to do the tagging and then he would like write a description, almost like a review of the record.
Oh, yeah.
And the hand styles and the way he would word things. So we had access to Jellies and all they brought us, all the culture.
Right.
People like Size, people like Guy, people like Monty.
Yeah.
Just all these purveyors of style. I guess they call them tastemakers nowadays. But I mean, Norm, who's the original tastemaker?
Yeah. Sean Speedy Lopez said that.
Right.
He said that Norm was the guy that would ask, what should I bring in? He would ask what's going on in the streets, and he would bring the music in.
Right.
Which basically Tower Records wouldn't do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Respect the Tower Records, the autograph mags, but I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah, shout to Norm.
And we had Hungry Ear and stuff like that too. So we had these outlets. We had Sarah's Surf Shop. You could get stuff.
Yeah.
So like by 92, like it's starting to bubble up. It's starting to bubble up, and it's not just me and John Isabello and Shirley anymore. And then I think also in junior year, the big thing that happened was there was another male rapper at our school finally, and he reminded me of a Hawaiian Eazy-E. He looked like Easy because you know how you kind of like style yourself after your favorite artist, right? And his name was Keone, and so it's like, okay, you rap, I rap, we got to rap, right? That's how it. Not necessarily battling, but like testing each other out, right? It's more like you like b-boys that you and
like a joust.
Yeah. So I rapped, he rapped, and then he's like, "Hey, bro, I gotta introduce you to Danny."
Oh.
And so it's from rapping with Keone.
Right. What's Keone's MC name?
I forget even. But he never really continued on to do it. But but that's how I met Danny.
Wow.
So I think it was junior year, probably later on.
You guys don't know Danny One. We go back in the old podcasts. Danny One. Check out Danny One's podcast. Anyway.
Yeah.
So through him you met Danny One.
I met Danny One. And then but prior to that, back to between AOP and Roosevelt High School, my mom's took me to a Santana concert.
What? Oh, shout out moms.
Yeah, she took me to a Santana. And she took me to a Tito Puente in North Shore Latin Jazz.
Oh, your mom was cool,
and my mom's
bro.
a lifetime donor to PBS too. So.
Oh, right there. Okay, there we go.
So, I went to the Santana concert, and I'm fascinated. Like, wow, this is cool.
Heck yeah.
And so there's these other young people, and so we just start, and they're sitting right behind me. So we just start talking story, and it's these two brothers, and they're called Carlos and Guijo.
Oh.
And they have this other friend with them. And so we meet, and Carlos was wearing the Public Enemy t-shirt.
Oh, okay.
And so that's how it was back in the day, like with the expert artists of Jamaica. My friend had a Bob Marley shirt, and that's how I knew that he liked Bob Marley. That was connection. This boy behind me had a Public Enemy shirt, and so it's like scarce. Like you're out there in the world looking for signs of hip hop life, and if you see it, you're gonna go directly to that person.
You're gonna hit them up,
and likely you're gonna have a lifetime friendship after
100%, 100%.
So this was Carlos and Gio Rios at the Santana concert. That's how I met Carlos and Gio Rios. Right. And I think it was maybe within a week I was at their house in Hawaiʻi recording a song inside his bedroom. And so that was the first guy I ever recorded with. I think that was like my summer between 8th and 9th grade.
So Gio is
Mr. Rios from High State Family.
High State Family. There you go.
And
you met him at a Carlos Santana.
Yeah, at a Santana concert. And I think he was probably like in 7th or 8th grade, and his brother's like a sophomore.
And they're going to Kaiser. New Valley?
New Valley and Kaiser, yeah. So anyway, I go to their house one day, and then we've been friends to this day.
That's crazy.
And everything in between. Also at that time, around sophomore year, in Maui, there's this crew called Chilltown Productions. Okay. And they have this big blue van with this graffiti on the side that says Chilltown Productions. And back then, nobody's doing it. So you're constantly looking for signs of hip-hop life. And we're on Maui. So we knew one of the guys from Chilltown Productions.
So at that time when your parents got separated, you were going back and forth?
My whole life I went back and forth.
From Maui, Oahu.
Yeah, so because joint custody. Summertime, Christmas breaks, I'd be up there. Wow. And summers was 3 months back then.
Yeah.
Right. And so I had the real town and country, like I said, Oahu, grown, Maui, built.
So technically you were bringing, because I feel Oahu's always been like the New York, LA of hip hop for Hawaii, right? The hands down the best MCs, DJs, writers. I mean,
Because we have the cities, we have
Yeah.
we have the competition that happens
Right.
in a city.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, so you'd come back and forth. I'm pretty sure you
Right.
took whatever you soaked up that whole school year and you took it back
And
to
then
Maui.
I'm coming back to Maui,
Yeah,
Maui
and everybody.
and they're like, oh, this Honolulu guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like that, right? So to them, I'm the Honolulu guy, but then to Maui, I'm the Honolulu
Yeah.
guy, but then to Honolulu, I'm the Maui guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's all yin yang.
Yeah.
So, but what I want to say about Chilltown is I meet Bud. So we go to look for Bud at the Fun Factory with Hev, because we knew Hev. And so we go into the Fun Factory and Bud's on his game, and he doesn't want to be interrupted. So he finishes his game, and I spit for him. Boom, just like we gear it's on. And then so I think within like a week or two, I was at his house recording a song with
So
him.
Bud is who's
DJ Blast
DJ
from
Blast,
Chilltown Productions.
Chilltown Productions.
So all through those years, on
So-
Maui, I'm
so
part
Blast
of
had
Chilltown Productions.
recording equipment,
In his
turntables,
yeah, everything.
And how old is he at this time?
He's probably like just out of high school.
Wow, okay.
And so being part of Chilltown Productions meant that you had to be part of the crew. You had to help load the van, all of the 20 record crates, the lights, the speakers,
Right.
help set up and everything at the party. Why? Because if you did that, then if you wanted to dance, you'd get to dance.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to rap, I'd get the mic.
Right.
Then at the end of the night, we all got to, just like a platoon,
Yeah.
pick up all the crates, all the lighting, all the speakers, load it back in the van. And then Chilltown Productions never did drink or smoke, so they're Jack in the Box by 11, 12, talking, snacking, eating French fries and cheeseburgers.
Oh,
all night.
that's cool, bro.
But Chilltown Productions represents 100% pure hip hop from the record crates.
Who is and who's in Chilltown Productions?
So Chilltown Productions started out with Adam and DJ Blast, Hev B Wild, DJ Skinny Guy, Randy, a whole bunch. I mean, and it just extends.
Yep. Real quick, shout out to DJ Skinny Guy. He was, I think he's the first guy from Hawaii to ever get entered in, or to ever battle in a DMC. And it's trippy because on Oahu, we only knew about that when the video came out.
And this is before Skid and before
Skid them.
Nocturnal.
Yep, before them. So
See?
we're on Oahu.
He's the original
we
P-Boy
get the
bad boy.
Yeah, we
Yup.
get the VHS pop
By the
him
way,
in.
I just saw him a week ago, talked to him for half an hour at the soccer practice. The park,
nice.
So we're all still, these relationships
Yeah.
we're speaking of aren't, like, we
Yeah.
still all know and love each other.
Yeah. So of course, back then, you had to wait for the VHS to come out. You buy the VHS. I think I bought it from the Beat. Might have bought it from the Beat. Pop it in. DJ Skinny Guy, Maui. We're like, what the? I was like, what the heck? Didn't know Maui had DJs. You know what I mean?
And
This
that's-
guy's from
and that's,
Maui.
So that's DJ Blast. And so DJ
Yeah.
Blast then had his own school
Right,
of
right,
DJs
right.
around him
Okay,
after
okay.
that. And DJ Skinny Guy is,
Yeah. So shout out to Skinny Guy, Blast, and so Chilltown was all that was the. And when did that start? In the early '80s?
I would say Chilltown probably started in '87. I don't want to misquote.
And
But
Blast
I mean,
is from Maui.
Blast, yes, is from Maui.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And I don't want to tell his own story.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
for
yeah,
him.
yeah.
But I mean, even when you ask where did it start, I even just remembered that the Maui County Fair, we'd have talent shows.
Okay.
And me and my childhood friend actually got up on the stage and tried to break dance when we were like in second grade at the thing, right?
Gotta love those.
But the county fairs were different back then too, because it was like the local community coming together, and you want to eat. You had the parade before with all the civic organizations going through town, so you visually see the community, right? The pageantry, the dress, everybody's different elements that they're into, whether it's Boy Scout or whatever it is, right? Then you had the food. You like eat the good Filipino food. You like eat the good Puerto Rican food. You like eat the good bean soup. You like eat the good China, right? And so malasada. So you go to the county, right? And play the games and ride the rides and look at all the pretty girls, and then so enter the talent show, try to break dance.
Classic.
So, I mean, so that's all what the Mele is, yeah.
What's crazy is like, I don't know if you, I mean, from the outside looking in, I could see you being a huge influence without you knowing it on Maui's hip hop scene. Because, you know, when I used to go to New York or meet somebody, when I met, so for instance, when I met Sean Kelly, knowing that he's from New York, I was like, bro, what are you listening to? You know what I mean? You're picking the brain of these guys because they're in it. They're thick in it. So, I mean, coming from, I can imagine you coming from Oahu, going to Maui, little did you know, they're probably the same, doing the same to you. Like, are you bringing tapes back, you know, your records back, letting you know, oh yeah, people are
or just
battling.
styles, slangs, concepts, streams of consciousness, like you said.
Right.
The original stream is the stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
That was
so
a great
then who
line,
was some of
Cav.
the, so since, I mean, I'll eventually get the Maui on here, Big Island, all the islands, you know, but was there any other MCs on Maui that you know of?
Yeah.
At that time?
There's my man Raji.
Okay.
Pharaoh Poppy,
Okay.
Hev B Wild, Adam from Chilltown, a few others, not many. But then the next big thing in Maui, I don't want to go too much into Maui because we still got to move back to the Oahu story. But then a couple other movements that happened post was Amphibious Tongues and
Shout
also and Jets Crew.
Yep.
So that's some of what was happening on Maui because it is a town and country Oahu
Right.
Maui belt story.
Yeah.
So maybe we switch back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So coming back on Oahu.
Yeah.
This is maybe you met Gijo,
Yeah.
right? And this is not high state. No, not
no,
even
no.
Numanakas yet.
No, it's Carlos, his older brother, and him in the bedroom.
And then it was you just meeting him and then going to record.
Yeah.
And Casper Kimo wasn't with you at all.
No.
Oh. And was there any kind of crew there, or just was making music?
No. It's still, we're just isolated individuals out here looking for each other. We're
Right,
just trying, like one dot trying to find the second dot to find a third dot.
And that's how it was in the 90s, right? You see somebody wearing like a Public Enemy shirt, you're like, hey, how's it?
And that's how you meet people. Lionel.
Okay. The Black Hawaiian.
No, I'm sorry. Lionel I met from Danny.
Okay.
But everybody also knows him from his MC stuff.
Yeah.
CJ Fresh.
Okay, yeah.
Remember I said I used to cut school and go to UH?
Yes.
And one of the events I went, Ice-T was speaking in the library, and I got up on a mic and I rapped.
Wait, Ice-T was speaking at the library. Was it like Hemingway or the other?
Right in Campus Center in the library over there.
So Ice-T was at UH.
Yeah. And so there's a question and answer session.
Okay, yeah.
So I didn't ask him a question. I got on the mic and I rapped for him. And he goes, yeah, I like that. All you need now is a beat.
Oh, he said that to you.
He said that to me.
Wait, what grade were you when you cut school and you went
Probably
to UH?
like a sophomore or something because I'm in the activist stuff, Revolution books with all
this is
Carolina Marnie guys.
classic. How come nobody's ever told me a story about Ice-T at UH?
I have stories about Snoop Dogg, E40, Be Real. I got so much stories about different cats, but
So
we're going to stick to what hip hop.
CJ Fresh,
So
though.
CJ Fresh, he would notice me over there because he could tell I was hip hop, right? And so one day I seen him in Ala Moana and I rapped for him.
Yeah.
And it just so happened there was a Public Enemy show that night.
Oh, at Pink's.
Yep.
Okay.
And he thought I was cool enough. He invited me to the show, dude.
Bruh.
Shout out to CJ Fresh, bruh.
He's always been like that.
So he's also one of my kumus in hip hop.
Okay, yeah.
So Frumpy, CJ Fresh. So I'm always going to give it to the guys that I
CJ
learned
Fresh,
from.
what school did he? He's at UH at that time?
Yeah,
or
he's
in
in
high
UH
school?
at that time.
Okay.
I'm still a Gram in high school.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about his backstory. I just know that he was hip hop and I'm looking for other hip hop people.
Yeah. And so he invited you to come
to the Public Enemy show, yeah.
And you weren't even of age. He got you in though.
He got me in. I got in somehow. Yep.
Yeah, CJ Fresh.
Yep, so CJ Fresh.
So how was it going to the Public Enemy show? Being how old, 16?
Yeah,
maybe?
it was unbelievable. I was just floored. I was like, after that, there's no turning back. Like,
Wait, real quick. So you were at an Ice-T rally at UH, and you meet CJ Fresh. Then within that night,
I'm not that same day.
Okay,
but I'm frequenting the area. And he's a student there, so I'm.
You'd
like,
all see him.
Yeah.
But then that same night was the Public Enemy as the Ice-T?
Well, I seen him in Ala Moana on this particular day. I seen him in Ala Moana at the top of the escalator. Actually, I remember exactly where it was. And like, I had a new verse I wanted to share with him. Like, check this out. This is. And he's like, oh, yeah. And then I guess it was cool enough that
Wow. And who else was Urban Joint open for that? Was Urban Joint on that bill with
No, I don't remember them. My first recollection of Urban Joint was, I believe, between my junior and senior year of high school was the famous House of Pain Cypress Hill show.
Oh, at the Aloha Tower.
Aloha Tower.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So...
Pause here.
Yeah. Because we kind of jumped all around.
We started
kind of chronological. And then
the CJ Fresh, the Ice-T threw me off. That I didn't expect that story.
So just around that time going to UH, Marnie, CJ Fresh.
Yeah.
And then it's going in. Now we're going into the Radio Free era.
Right.
Radio Free Hawaii. And then that's when I meet Monty.
Okay.
And actually I meet Guy first. I meet Guy first from Revolutionary Books because Guy was also part of.
Well, this is before High State then still yet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's so much things that happened before High State even happened.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the Jelly Radio Freeze era starts and actually guy plays one of my songs. The first time I ever had my song play on the radio was
Who
Radio
produced
Free
that one?
Hawaii.
You recorded it with...
That was DJ Blast, my DJ Blast
wow,
song.
DJ
And it had a Chuck D sample, and I went, I'm trapped from the government. I got lied to from the government.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man, revolutionary.
Yeah, so we was always on it
Yeah.
like that. It was always about the activist stuff.
And they played it.
Yeah, and because they were activists too, right?
Right, yeah, of course.
Right. So there's a story. My dad was driving home from work one day, and my song came on the radio, and so he got so excited he lit up a spliff, dude. Lo and behold, the popo was right behind him. Dude. He got pulled over. Oh no! But
shout
out to Pops. I love you, Pops. But my Pops and my moms was always fully supportive
That's awesome.
of arts and expression.
That means a lot.
Yeah,
a lot for a young mind.
Me and Free wanted to. We asked the principal if we could do murals.
Yeah.
On the high school wall, and they said boo, right?
Right.
But now people are getting paid to do murals.
Yeah.
G Building, there was a phase 2 piece on the back of G Building. And my step-grandma's house is 2 minutes through the bush. So we get the bathroom pass from science class, because G Building is science class. Like, look at this phase 2 piece. It was the most crazy, wild style. That was right on the trail to go up to. My mom had an office at Kalani High School, and the Kalani High School wall in the back. When I'd have to go meet her after school over there, I would just go to that back wall and just look at that back wall, dude. There was one time that me and Casper, we went to Pearl Ridge, and we was at the bus stop at Pearl Ridge, and phase 2 is at the bus stop, and we're like, yo, you're phase 2. And he was tripping out that we recognized, that we were adept enough to identify him. And like, you're the guy that did the piece on my school's building. Like,
you saw phase 2 at a bus stop.
Yeah, Pearl Ridge.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just randomly. But phase 2 also painted the piece on G Building that I had been walking past for. So when... Plus, we have subway art. We have spray can art.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this book called Getting Up.
Yep. I remember that. Yep.
You couldn't buy these books back then. There's no Amazon.
Yeah.
But these things were like gold. So I got suspended from Roosevelt because I threw the book out the back window, and I guess there was somebody below, a staff below.
You hit somebody.
No, there was a staff.
Oh,
that
they see the book fly out.
Yeah, saw the book fly out. So when I went down to go get the Getting Up copy that Roosevelt High School had,
classic.
I got copped. Yeah. But those were our sources. I mean, PBS had Style Wars and Wild Style. Somebody else mentioned that.
I remember seeing that we had it. I tried. It's funny. I talked to our programmers like, "Hey, can we get this aired again?" But I'm just licensing and all this stuff like that. But I'm gonna keep trying, because the fact that PBS used to run Style Wars back in the 80s
was always so progressive,
which is crazy, man.
That's why we love you, PBS.
It's just crazy. But you're talking about Radio Free, though.
Yeah.
Radio Free. And in that era, did you meet more producers, MCs, promoters during the Radio Free Hawaii era?
So during this era, as far as MCs and producers, I knew Danny One and Chris J. That's about the time when Danny One and Chris J, like junior, senior year. And I met them from after I met Keone at Roosevelt High School after and test each other out. And they had a studio at on P.E. Koi, where the Jellies was.
Right.
Their studio was in the back. That was Bully's. That was Bully's studio.
Right.
And so that was like the first real. Then I'm not in somebody's bedroom no more.
Yeah. That was pretty much Homegrown Massive at that time.
And so I go there. I meet Danny. I meet Big Wayne Medeiros. I meet Heinzke and Double J. I meet Mighty Mouse. And I'm like, yo, now I'm meeting other guys.
Yes.
So these guys coming from Kalihi, Naked Natives, Beach Boys sons from Kapahulu, and there's Chris J and Danny One, who are like probably 5, 6 year old, and like they're super cool and dope, and I'm like, okay, I found it.
Yes, yeah.
Like I found it, because I want to start recording.
Yes.
Like we found it with Chilltown, but like we've whole.
Yep.
And they're interested in us because we're a little younger and we're a little more hip to because we're reading the Source magazines, we're going to towers, we're digging and stuff like that. So when Big Wayne and them met us, like, yo, check out this group called Onyx. Oh, yo. And so we start turning them on to all this because they was more on like the G stuff because they're gangster. You know what I mean? Like, so then we kind of brought that part and so everybody started together. So They taught us, you know what I mean, what they taught us, but then also, it's like that thing that Karis once says. When old people listen to young people, you're better amongst your peers.
Right.
When young people listen to old people,
Right.
So it was like that kind of dynamics, right? And so that's where Homegrown Massive kind of started in Bully Studio over there. And then that studio came to an end, and then it became Danny's house in Moʻilla,
Okay.
right there. And then that was a hot spot where a lot of stuff jumped off right there at Danny One's apartment. Because again, back then there's not a lot of people that are doing things. And so Danny One's that guy. If you want to record stuff, Danny One's one of the few.
Yep.
And then later, Taco with Duran Sound linked up with and Tacos but at this time it's like very few places. So Danny One's apartment became like ground zero. Became ground zero.
So then, at this point was so Casper Chemo was rhyming.
Yeah,
you and him.
So they're like sophomores. I'm like a junior, senior now, and now we're tagging. We're all rhyming. Like,
and you introduced him to Gijo, Chemo, or was it?
Eventually they all met, but that wasn't like because Gijo was in Hawaiʻi, so and we're over here. We're in town. Yeah.
So Danny One. Yeah, one thing about Danny One is when I first met him, like him and Jamal was the first two guys I've met. They were so welcoming, like ridiculously welcoming.
Yeah.
They didn't judge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course, they weren't gonna welcome you if you're whack.
No. Yeah.
But they definitely checked you. But once you checked out, they were like, "Hey, man, come to my house."
So that apartment, Homegrown Massive started, and then we had other people start to come through.
Yeah.
A couple of people of note, is we had these two brothers from Portland, T-Rock Shabazz and Kiri Case.
Wow.
T-Rock Shabazz was like kind of like a short, super hype guy with dreads.
Okay.
And Kiri Case is a tall, skinny, red bone brother. They introduced us to the concept of rhyming off the dome.
So before that,
Everything we didn't even we didn't right?
and being a shorty, you never heard anybody freestyle.
Well, there wasn't a thing in Hawaii. They're coming from, so again, MCing, rapping is not common, let alone off the dome is not common.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
This is like 90.
This is like 93, no, 92, 93 now.
93, yeah.
This is 92, 93.
Yeah.
So T-Rock comes through and he's like a supernatural. Like, you know,
Wow, yeah.
And so he's going and winning every battle. And everybody wants to finance and fund his project. And
In
stuff
Hawaii,
like
in
that.
Hawaii.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Waikiki, in
Waikiki.
Honolulu.
Okay,
He's
yeah.
winning everything. Nobody can stand next to him. And his other partner, Kiri Case, is also connected with Good Life Cafe, Freestyle Fellowship people.
Okay.
And so I hanai myself to that, to Kiri Case, because this is now what I want to do.
Yes,
okay?
yeah.
When I saw Frumpy,
Frumpy?
what these guys is doing,
That's what, yeah.
oh, we can do this. So then we started to learn that. And so we're some of the first ones in Hawaiʻi. And then so it wasn't pretty at first. There's growing pains, right?
Was we meaning who's? You? Who was there when you guys met these Portland MCs?
So at this time, Aja, Casper and I are rhyming with each other.
Yeah.
We got the Homegrown Massive, we got the Big Bros, as well. And then Kiri Case guys come through.
Right. And that's how you started like, whoa, that's what we
Yeah. And so now we're just ciphering. Now.
Right. Okay.
And we 2 bars,
Sharpening,
3 bars, boom, boom, boom. And now we're getting used to it like that.
Yeah.
Because every day we're always together at Danny's apartment.
And then these guys, what was their names again? Sorry?
Kiri Case
And
T-Rock Shabazz.
T-Rock Shabazz.
Yeah.
So
they brought freestyling, the art of freestyling to
so
Hawaii.
Kiri Case was connected with the project Good Life guys.
Yeah.
And he and then the Portland, Lamert Park, LA, South Central, Hawaii,
Yeah.
Makiki.
Yeah.
Boom.
Moʻilla. Yeah.
And then they kind of tipped you to the game of like, this is how we do it.
Yeah. You can
Off the
actually
dome.
rap off the top of the head. And so now when we're starting to rap in ciphers locally, we're able to do something that everybody else is not used to yet. Yet. Kid, everybody's going to get good at it, but they're not good at it. So I wanted to mention them as well. And also around this time, now maybe towards 93, I graduated. But me and Kiri Case, we had this we made female jewelry, and we hustled at the swap meet. And then Kiri Case took me to LA, and this is the summer that Inner City Griots came out.
Ooh.
And Kiri Case brings me right into the inner social circle of the Good Life Cafe people.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm at a house party in the Valley with the whole freestyle fellowship, like in somebody's backyard. And there's like a mic with like 100 guys around it. This is the summer Inner City Griots came out.
Oh my God, dude.
And
For people that don't know, okay, Freestyle Fellowship is probably like the
Style Messiahs.
Style Messiahs. They're one of the many crews that birthed from Good Life Cafe in South Central Lamert Park. Eventually turned to Project Blowed, which was an open mic on Thursday nights in the hood. But pure positivity. They're one of the crews that got signed along with Volume 10.
Pistol
the
Grip,
Knots.
pump 'em up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like Skilo, Ahmad, all these guys. But the crew is
AC alone,
four
everybody
MCs,
else. Yeah.
a DJ that is by far
Kilo.
like the Miles Davis, Quincy Jones of hip hop style. Anyway, they without them, freestyle would be pretty much nothing.
So here I am right out of Roosevelt High School.
Yeah.
We already got Homegrown Massive started. Now I'm in
crazy.
LA with Kiri
That's
Case.
crazy.
And so I'm like, yo. So again, we're absorbing Mana'o from mainland cats, right? Then we're ambassadoring that back to Hawaii, right? Which you hear in a lot of the brothers that comes up on with Jamal, with Too Swift.
All of us. Everyone.
That trip actually is where Kiri Case brought me to this place called the Gaslight.
Okay.
And then when I came home after that trip, and then we went all the way up to Portland. Anyway, we can't tell the whole life. Yeah. But anyway, come back, and around this time, Eggplant Funk Pistol is popping.
Okay, yep.
And they got the Delicious Vinyl Connects.
Yep.
So I meet this DJ called DJ Daz at Delicious Vinyl, from Delicious Vinyl, and he kind of likes what I'm doing. And like, yo, I want to come back up to LA and see if we can get something popping. So I go back up to LA, and I'm staying up there for a little while. I had a few different escapades that I went up there. But this one particular time, so I go to the Gaslight and with DJ Daz now, and I'm in the Gaslight, and I think it was Jamal Ski was the ragamuffin rapper.
Yep.
But I got to open because Daz was spinning, and so I'm up there on the mic rapping like that, and then this guy comes up to me, and he's like, "Oh, boom, 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 yeah, I'm from Hawaii. What?" And it's Jamal.
Jamal.
And so we exchange numbers, and like you're lonely when you're up there as a local boy. It's lonely, bro. It's not fun. It's not fun, which is why I never stayed that long. I was that lonely because I'm a true local boy. Yeah, come on. And so the next day I went and met up with Jamal at the Burger King because they had 99-cent Whoppers and we're broke, right? And then I've known Jamal ever since.
That's insane. I was gonna ask you if you met Jamal up there because Jamal was there the same time. Him, Too Swift. Yeah. Slick. Did you get to meet up with Too Swift, Slick, and?
No, I didn't know those guys. I just knew Jamal. Yeah, because I wasn't around that long.
Did Jamal grab the mic at all?
No.
Jamal.
He was just Jamal that night. Yeah. But then also through Daz, I met my brother DJ Wordsworth, who was the right hand man for Hayes, and so another escapade that I went to LA. To try to see if we could get something going with Wordsworth, was when Hayes, his clothing line was first popping off too, and Wordsworth was his right hand man, and then but they had to go to Japan for a clothing convention,
right?
And so I had this job in the Valley at the mall that I had it for a couple of days, and then now here I am in Silver Lake alone, like miserable again. And lo and behold, the Humanakas are in town.
What?
And Taji's grandpa gave him a gigantic yellow station wagon.
Okay.
And so the Humanakas come visit me.
Yeah.
And I'm miserable.
Yeah.
And they pull up in this big yellow submarine. They're like, "What are you guys doing? We're going to San Francisco." I'm like, "I'm out of here, bro." I jumped in the yellow submarine with them. We went on a road trip to San Francisco.
This was 94.
No, this is like 95 now.
95,
This is like 95
yeah.
because there was a series of LA trips that led up to this
trip.
Okay. There's a series of LA trips that led up to this trip. And so, I kind of dropped the bag and just dug out because I was homesick.
Yeah.
The brothers pulled up in a yellow submarine. That was a sign from God to get on board.
Yeah.
And so we had an epic journey. We went to Frisco. We did all the stuff we did.
And then whose cousin was an MC from Pacoima? You remember that? I remember hearing the freestyles that you guys.
Yeah.
Somebody's cousin jumped.
Yeah,
on
that
with
was
you
somebody's.
guys?
That was somebody's cousin. But that dude was dope. The cousin was dope. But anyway, so when we're supposed to drive back down to LA, I'm supposed to fly back. we got to stop and get gas in Oakland. The yellow submarine just dies, dude, at the gas station in the hood in Oakland, dude.
In Oakland.
In
1995.
Yeah, and so and we're in the hood, so then there's these Vietnamese gangbangers driving by waving guns at us, and they're standing in front of this big yellow station wagon. I forget exactly how I think Evan came to pick us up, and he dropped me off at the Greyhound bus station so I could catch my plane back to Hawaiʻi. But at the Greyhound bus station was my neighbor for 3 years in Kaneohe, Rolando Dongan from the Dongan Brothers, and they're part of the local punk rock scene, but we were good friends.
And it was at the bus station.
He was on my same Greyhound bus, so that was like a sign from God that, come, you stay with brother now. So,
oh, wow.
So hip-hop provides us with all these beautiful journeys, man.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
So then now about this time, we're going into Homegrown Massive. We have like 4 or 5 songs. They're dope. If anybody out there has the Homegrown Massive songs, holler at me.
The Static Kavet?
No, not these songs.
Oh,
not these songs. These songs are on Reel to Reel.
Oh, so
they're
only
on.
Danny would, maybe Danny or Chris J would have them.
Oh, Chris J doesn't. Yeah. Livocation Chris J.
Yeah.
Nabahe might be the only librarian that might have that.
Yeah, because Danny gave. Yeah.
But we had songs like Heads Will Be Rolling, Massive, My Crew is Massive, and then each crew had their own song. Like VM has a song. I still have that one.
Yeah.
Rough Mode has a song. So now around this time, a landmark moment happens. Cypress Hill and House of Pain, right at the peak of Jump Around, there's a show at Aloha Tower.
Yes.
And these boys called Urban Joint come out, and they just blow everybody away.
Yeah.
You got these 2 brothers that look like a Hawaiian Filipino Das Effect.
Yes. Yes.
You got this dude that looks like a Hawaiian Samoan Ice Cube.
Yep.
And then you got this dude that looks like a local Cholo Mexican dude, right? And they
bats
got
and
machetes. And they rocked it, bro. Excellent. They killed it.
Yeah.
Right?
I
And
remember I was there.
we was all there, bro. That was a
like,
pinnacle
what?
moment. So after that, the Homegrown Masters thing, we had in Waikiki.
Yeah.
There's this talent show at Hilton Hawaiian Village. This is a big one, dude. Cam Ford, Ricky guys was all there.
Yeah. Okay.
Homegrown Massive was all there. Everybody who was trying to do it now. This is like 94 going to was there.
Yeah.
And so now we're all starting to see each other.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
So now the community is really forming. Plus at the same time through tagging and Aija, the Alien Native guys, all those guys, Timers, Woes. Plus I lived in Kaneohe for 3 years. So anyway. So it's really starting to germinate. The culture has really
94
germinated.
was really popping.
So we go to this talent show, and at this talent show, we meet this big Samoan brother from Cali, and his name is Big Time, Ryan Leuta.
Okay.
And we meet him, and he raps kind of like King T Chubb. Damn, with the gun sound, $1, $2, then another round. Step it to me, and you step into danger.
Yeah.
But he's this big Samoan cat from LA, and so he joins Homegrown Massive.
What?
And now the mana is strong with these ones. Yeah.
Wait, was the Portland guy still there in Hawaii, or they left?
Yeah, they went. They went. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have these affiliates that come in and add their influence and their mana. Yeah. And so we record the Homegrown Massive stuff, and then life happens.
Yes.
And then around this time, these boys from East Side have graduated from high school, and they started to come out to the Eggplant and stuff like that. And I'm outside the Eggplant rapping with anybody who wants to rap, and then that's how I met Tasho.
Okay.
He came to and so you rap, I rap, let's rap.
Yeah, let's rap.
And then that was it. We've had a brotherhood ever since.
Nice.
And but then I didn't know that he knew Gio.
That's crazy.
But then like I already know John Davis.
Yeah.
I already we all know each
So
other.
we
through
went all the way
networks.
back. You went to school, middle school with John Davis, ALP.
Met Gio shortly after this.
Yeah.
So now we're coming 4 years later, and all of these things, all like remember 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dots. The dots are starting.
Well, John Davis, for people, just explain quickly who
John Davis is from Ukladamak.
Right.
He's a drummer for Ukladamak, one of the founding
But
members of
before that,
Ukladamak.
he was in, what scene was he in?
He was in the punk scene, I
Punk scene,
believe,
right.
before that. Yeah.
Okay.
So Eggplant, Guy, again, Jellies, Funk Pistol, Norm.
Yeah.
Right. All the same DNA coming down. Right?
Yeah.
And so Humanakas has started to come out the house, and again, they start to come through the Dannies.
Yeah.
So now we're all coming through the Danny's, and then even back then, Sub-Zero, Lover,
Yep.
were at Danny's with us.
Nice.
It was, if you were doing it, you guys were gonna be hanging out because not everybody is doing hip hop.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's how I originally knew Lover.
Right.
Drama went to Roosevelt High School.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. I've known Elton and his brother Walter since first grade. They went to Kaʻuluʻela school too.
Okay.
Walter was my older brother's classmate. So I've known the Solis from Kaʻuluʻela since first grade. I've known them my whole life.
Walter, just speak on Walter real quick.
High Chief XL.
Okay.
Yup.
XL. Livocation.
Livocation to him and his brother Elton. Yup. Another chief in Hawaii hip hop right there.
Yes.
And the most biggest, hardest aloha brother ever, bro. He always took care. He always watched out for us. Yup.
So all this is happening.
Crushed the mic.
Either 90, 94, 95, 96, just boom, melting pot.
So that we have the Homegrown Massive album, things kind of happen, and then that kind of germinates into High State, which is right now it's VM and Humanakas.
Right.
Then like Sho said, Sixth Sense was his but then also we have our Go Jimmy Go cats. We have our Uklana Mock cats.
Right, yeah.
And we have our tagging cats. We have our skateboard cats. We have our Ala Park skate crew cats.
Yeah.
I mean, even going back to Kaʻuluʻela school with Cobra skateboards back in the days, dude. I mean, there's so much stuff.
Shout out to Cobra
skateboards,
Cobra
bro.
Combo.
Cobra Combo with the generic one. Don't buy the good one. Buy the Cobra Combo with the generic stuff. They're going to fall apart.
You could get a candy,
sticker, a T-shirt, and a candy bar.
Yeah, a candy bar. Yeah, you buy the sticker, T-shirt, candy bar for $150. I give you the skateboard.
Bro swore he invented the puka shell necklace, dude. He wrote a book that laid claim to inventing the puka shell necklace.
I don't want to try to go in there. I just thirsty right by Diamond Head soda, 25 cents. He tries to sell you
the Safeway soda. He's selling you the
Safeway soda.
Was a Safeway soda.
The generic Coca-Cola and stuff.
So that's all Honolulu in those days, yeah?
That's one thing I got to say about High State, though, is like, you guys wasn't just hip-hop. You guys had punk bands. And like, it's so much, it was like...
It's just all corner cultures.
Yeah.
Cultures. And everybody, you choose surfing, you choose b-boying, we're all just trying to catch a stoke.
Yeah.
Like the surface say you want to catch a stoke.
Yeah.
So everybody's picking up what they pick up to catch a stoke, right? I saw something last night that said it's sad that every artistic expression is like considered commodity or skill, because as humans, the same way a bird flies, the same way a fish swims, we're supposed to just sing, dance, and create.
Yeah.
That's naturally, intrinsically what we're supposed to do. And when that gets squelched and commodified, that's why it mutates into where we are. Like you said earlier, is that why we still are today, where we are today?
Yeah.
So when we're originally doing this, we're doing this because it's so empowering. You're a youth going through whatever you're going through. But once you start doing your top rock and you hit that shoulder roll and everybody reacts to you, you turn into a superhero.
Yeah.
You could just be a youth doing what you do.
No doubt.
But if you can't walk through the city without seeing free VM, John Isabello just became a superhero.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Et cetera, right? Et cetera. And that's really where the true intention and the purpose for practicing these arts is coming from.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk more about you and your style, because now that I'm hearing you went from Maui, Oahu, LA, Portland, Oakland, and you had your touches with Freestyle Fellowship, with Hood Guys in LA, Waianae, like you so seasoned. Your style is like none that I've ever heard before. The way you put words together, the way it's like you're a local boy, but you have this twang about you that I don't know if it's like the Portuguese side, I don't know if it's like Maui, Oahu mixed side, a pidgin
Maui
English.
But a type of
like what is where does that come from?
My grandfather was a Portuguese cowboy.
Okay.
His first language was Portuguese. His second language was Hawaiian.
Wow.
His third language was English. I don't know if you remember your veterans in your family, but the type of pidgin that they spoke.
Yeah.
It wasn't, the type of...
No, you're right.
They're singing when they're talking, and they're using words from 3 different, 4 different, 5 different languages when they're talking. And so there's definitely in those early ingrained speech patterns, a lot of that sing
It's
song.
almost inheritance. You inherited like
Yeah.
this speech,
Especially
pattern.
when they get going after a
Oh,
few.
yeah, when they rip them, yeah.
They rapping already.
Yeah, because the way you put your words together is just like when I first met you in the ciphers, I was like, bruh, this guy is different. Like inflections, connection. Now when I listen to you now and you're explaining this all on the podcast, it makes sense because you're exposed to way more than I could say any other MC in Hawaii. So when you came into the cipher, you and like One Night Stand, it was just almost like when I talk about in my introduction, like juggernauts.
So shout out to the Roof Funk Posse, One Night Stand, Sweepy, DJ
Yeah,
Static. When
yeah.
I talked about Homegrown Massive, that's the Salt Lake chapter right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I went to, I was like, dude, these guys, like, I don't even want to rhyme. First experience, like, bro, I can't rhyme after this guy. Like, it was just intimidating. But to me, like, if you wanted to get down, you had to face it. So you just got to jump in. But you would overpower people. Was that on purpose or was that a hunger? Was that like a checking at the door of the next of the us guys?
Like I said, Frumpy went hard on me.
Yeah.
She told me you probably shouldn't even be rapping. You're Caucasian.
Yeah.
A. B. We've been doing it all this time, getting outcasted.
Yeah.
Oh, now you guys like coming
Yeah.
Oh, now you guys like.
Yeah.
It's like that. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
So we just supposed to hand you the stuff
exactly.
and roll out the red carpet.
Yeah.
Well, you know how much stuff that happened before
Right,
you even
before
show
you
up
even
and
show-
decided you wanted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like almost the survival of the fittest. And, you know, and me, like, so me and EP, we connected 93, 94. We started coming out about end of 94, 95. And that's when we started seeing, we started meeting other people because we were just kind of on the outside looking. You know, a lot of us are just kind of observing, and, you know, and then we felt compelled. We jump in. Like a lot of guys, you know, observing first. Nobody knew we rhymed, you know, because that's how it is when you go to any scene. You know, you see who's the guys that,
Yeah.
pecking order, right?
I showed up to Roosevelt High School. Oh,
Yeah.
Frumpy.
Yeah,
You
that's
show up to
gotta
the
go.
scene, yeah. And you know that's what you
But
got to go
instantly,
through.
I knew already, like, bruh, that guy, Buzz One Night Stand. Even I would see, like, you know, Casper, and I'd be like, oh, these is the dudes, bro. Like, we got to find a way to, I remember telling EP, we got to get in there, bro. Wherever they're at, we got to get in that cipher because, you know what I mean? But, like, I hear it now when, like, from Frumpy and all the way, like, why you were, you know, and I remember talking to, like, Omega 6, like, dude, bruh, or other MCs, bruh, he's like, those guys are like cipher bullies, bruh. But I understand it early. You gotta earn your chops. You gotta earn your time on the mic. You gotta earn your time on the cipher. And if you get overpowered, it's because you're not powerful at that time. So it's almost like a sharpen, you know, like a as, right?
Which is what happens on Honolulu that lifts our
Right.
compared to if I'm in, you know, London
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
And then also like we're in the city, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're in Mauna Kea, Nu'uanu, and then you guys from Hawaii, Kai. Yeah. So
you guys rhyme.
You guys from
What you guys?
that's not one hip hop place,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and you guys coming from there? Yeah.
See,
Because you have the idea that hip hop is urban, and we're from the
yeah.
city, so we own it,
Front
right?
of streets.
Yeah,
front of housing,
yeah. So, this is our.
Yeah.
We got to protect this,
Protect
right?
it, yeah.
We got to protect this because you can't just be coming from, you know what I mean?
See
Puna
someone-
Hawaii, and then now you can jump in a cipher.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Oh yeah. No, but I think that's the lost thing about today
Yeah.
is that the checks and balances is off.
And the battling or the testing back then wasn't Buzz, you're ugly and I effed your.
Yeah.
It wasn't personally
no,
attacking the
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
It was I want to flow and do my stuff so that it's obvious that my stuff is right.
Yeah.
It wasn't about personally attacking the person,
Right.
which is the difference of testing each other out. Then I mean, what the thing evolved into,
Yeah.
which is very entertaining, is great, and people love it, and nothing wrong to it.
Yeah.
But just back then, testing each other out wasn't
Right.
like personally trying to attack or humiliate the next person.
Right.
It was more about. So you think your style is dope?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so High State happens. Humanakas releases album, Freestyling, Species. You know what I mean? You keep doing music through all of this, and like you said, life happens, right?
Yeah.
We become adults,
Well,
families,
and then there's a VM album that never got put out. Me and Fame just we were able to recollect the song names of that VM album, but They're somewhere on a CD burned somewhere.
So somebody has a VM.
No.
VM
I
you
have
have
somewhere,
it?
or Gio has it. But
Okay.
anyway, so there is VM tracks that never saw the light of day. There's a lot of buzz tracks between VM and Moʻilla Pillas that never
Right.
saw the light of day. Did different things with DJ Blast, even with JG from with John McGuy's studio down there. Jacob,
Yeah.
JG, Jacob Gabriel, did some fun stuff with him. And then eventually that culminates into Moʻilla Pillas.
Yeah. Well, you eventually moved to Maui permanently. You're in Oahu the whole time, and then you made the trip. I mean, I remember I bumped
I
into
moved
you
to
a couple
Maui. I
times.
moved to Maui permanently after Moʻilla Pillas.
Oh, after Moʻilla Pillas.
Yeah.
Okay. So what? So after all this, we go through. And
So
you still do
95,
music?
96, that's like Freestyling Species. We're in a Source magazine.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. 95, 96 is more like Homegrown Massive. 97, 98 is Freestyling Species. We get in a Source magazine and stuff like that. It was kind of like the pinnacle of,
Right.
And then life kind of happened after
Yeah.
that. Now we're going into the millennium.
Yeah.
And then that's where I'm just like, actually, I started to go back to school at that point.
Yeah.
Actually, I enrolled in KCC Culinary.
Nice.
But I'm still doing music on the
Right.
side. I that's when
Have kids, family.
No, we're not there. We're not there yet. We're not there
Yeah.
yet. We're not there yet. And then so it was about 2000, maybe 2003, 2004. I was with Galmichi, and then we was doing Aloha Tower. The Don host parties. We had a
nice.
party crew. We were doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he let me be out. And so just doing different things,
Yeah.
staying active and stuff like that. And then I think it was maybe around that time, 2004, 2005, in Fame's Kapahulu apartment. We made our first prototype Moʻilla Pillas song.
That early.
But then we didn't actually act on it yet.
Yeah.
But it was a formulation in the first couple of Moʻilla Pillas songs that we made. And then I think it was like maybe about like 2005, Fame moved downstairs in how we had upstairs, downstairs.
Oh, wow.
And so, and we weren't even active in music at this
Right.
time. But then I don't know what happened. It came to like, bro, what are we gonna do? We got to do something.
Yeah.
And so me, him, and Jordan, we had a meeting on Newt One with the Vietnamese place. We sat down, and we decided to start Blaisdell Studio.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's when we started Blaisdell Studio. And that's where we did Raps to the Max.
Okay.
And then within 3 years, we did, University and then Elementals. But also, not only from 2000 to that point was a lull for, it just seemed there was a lull in general.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that much exciting things popping.
Right.
And so it was kind of like a resurgence. And so the concept of Moʻilla Pillas was our first album, Raps to the Max. And this is an homage to Rough Mode, which is one with the Magellanes brothers.
Right.
I have the Rough Mode track, actually, which I'll play for you, which I will say is the original Raps to the Max, Pigeon to the Max
Let's go.
track. I credit them with inventing the Pigeon to the Max rap style.
Wow.
The song's called What's the Haps? I'll play it for you after.
Okay.
But we thought a worthwhile mission was there's a lull in hip hop, A. B, what the artists in Hawaii are doing sounds no different from what they're doing in the mainland.
Yeah.
They're basically kind of like osmosis, like you were talking about earlier, whether intentional or not.
Right.
Whether intentional or not. He said, we're going to show that we can take Kama'aina concepts, Kama'aina culture, our experiences, what we believe in,
Yes.
and make genuine, bona fide hip hop. And so the same way that Pigeon to the Max explains Pigeon English to a non-Kama'aina,
Right.
we're going to explain Hawaii hip hop
Yes.
to the right. And so that's what it said, Raps to the Max. And then so you saw the cover and stuff. And
That's your first album, right?
with Mo'illa Pillas.
Yeah, Mo'illa Pillas.
Yeah, with Mo'illa Pillas.
Were you guys always planning on doing 3 albums, or you just had that much music made?
Well, it just kind of snowballed because me and Fame, he called me out of the blue one day. That's how I met him because he knew Aisha from the circles, from the social circles. And he called me out of the blue. I went to his house. The first day I met him in his apartment, we made a song called King of the Hill. This is probably 5 years before we even, like a long time before we even, and serendipity, it was called King of the Hill. and then we went on to make
Moʻilla. Yeah, Moʻilla.
So anyway, it's like it's all one big symphony. But
Yes.
but we just, you know, when you meet somebody and just right off the bat,
Yeah.
there's a connection. I was just talking story with him for 2 hours at his house last night. We're brothers to this day.
Yeah.
So there was always a synergy with me and Fame. My solo song on Freestyling Species, it's called Lost and Found. He made that beat.
Nice.
So during the Kapahulu apartment days, then I started, and then so we had the meeting with Jordan. We made Blaisdell Studio. We did Raps to the Max. But then other cats started to come in, and Blaisdell Studio just kind of jumped off. It turned into kind of like a ground zero.
Kind of like
how Danny's was. Kind of like how Danny's was.
Like how Danny's was.
And let's not forget Gil's, because our high state ground zero was Gil's place in Olomana.
Okay.
And like we would religiously be, that was like our temple. We are religiously going there whenever we can. We're religiously every Friday night, a wake up show. We had our nights. VM had this night. Humanakas had this night. Like that. Because there's only one Gil, right?
Yeah.
So then Blaisdell kind of became the ground zero, because there was no more Danny's, there was no more Gil's.
Yeah.
And so we had to make our own ground zero.
Right.
And so then Blaisdell became the ground zero, and then the other homies downstairs had the live band. They had their studio. And then so Blaisdell as a hotel started to have all these other things, tattoo parlor.
Right.
And so for about 3-4 years there, it was just a really happening place, man. And Javi saw all of it. Javi, the elevator driver, shout out to Javi.
So you guys made your 3 Mo'illa Pillaz album, all 3 of them there.
At Blaisdell, yeah.
And you guys planned to do 3, like, or just was like,
It just,
okay,
yeah,
we'll
we
do
did this
Raps
one,
to the Max,
and
and
then we
like,
did the next
okay.
one. Yeah, and then, organic. Everything's all organic.
So you explain what the Raps to the Max album, the inspiration for that.
Yeah.
Second album.
So Universe City.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of like we're going from, you just look at the visual of the it's kind of just maturing.
Right.
Really. It's just a maturity. It's a growth, really.
So Mo'ili, University Ave.
Yeah, we're standing right there in front of Puck's Alley in the Korean house.
Yeah.
We got the floating bus.
Yeah.
We got the spaceship
Yeah.
on top of the building.
Okay,
And so we're taking it from ground zero. We're expanding
Yes,
now.
yes.
We're going a little bit more universal. You can hear in the sounds. The sounds are a little more spacey,
definitely.
a little more sonic.
Yeah.
They're less kind of like roots.
Yeah.
Like Raps to the Max is real golden era kind of boom bap
Sample,
sounding.
chop. Yeah. Fame
Glunk, glunk,
killed it. Yeah.
glunk. Whereas University like bonk the boom
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's starting to get and then with Elementals, it just gets way more musical.
Right.
It gets much more musical.
Right.
So it goes from like the real boom bap sound to this kind of more sonic spacey sound to this super like musical sound by the time we get
definitely,
to University. I mean, we get the Elementals.
Elementals, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know if any other hip hop artist or group has done 3 albums, released 3 albums, pressed 3 albums 3 years in a row. And none of those albums is a dip. It's just bangers, banging straight through. Boom, 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 boom.
Mahalo.
You know what I mean? And you've been in this longer than I have. I tell people, can you recall anybody else that's done that? I'm not talking about songs just floating on the internet. You post up 4 songs, call it an album, an EP. I'm talking about investing time, money, effort, promotion into 3 legit albums posted up. Do you recall anybody else doing that in Hawaii?
I could just say that it was awesome to be able to do it. I would just say that it was a blessing that we were able to do that. The scene that we had, the people we got to hang with, the geniuses, we got all these people with all these genius talents and so good at all these brothers and sisters with their talents. And I mean, just the blessing of being able to have these experiences with other artists and create. And like we said, we went from 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot to now we have this whole.
Right. Because in production-wise, majority was Fame, right?
Yeah.
The majority of the
and
beats.
then, the brothers
Ace.
working together. But you know how
all
it is
those
when
guys,
you're in a beat making session, right? It's not. It's just like in a cipher, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It takes a team.
So 3 though, and then done.
Well, then life happened again, right? Then things happened again, right? Things happened.
But I mean,
again.
what a way to just be like, yup. I mean, top of it. I mean, to me, I'm like, dude,
Everything has its shelf life.
I was just like, what the heck, dude? 3 albums, like, boom, and like, I mean, I would be like good there too. I'd be like, bruh, I made that mark. Like, I mean, to me, I'm kind of bummed because I want to hear more.
Hey,
You know what I
Raps to the Max got nominated for a Hoku Hano Hano Award.
Yeah, that's right.
However, there was no hip hop category that
At that
year.
time, yeah.
And it was in the R&B category. But what that did is by the next year, and this was when Facebook is starting to get popping and stuff with the hip hop groups and stuff.
Yeah.
They started to advocate to the
for a hip-hop
right, and they
category.
got a hip hop category after that.
Right. Which all the wrong people wanted first.
But yeah,
hey, that's a whole other thing.
it's progress though. You
Yeah,
know?
no, it is definitely progress.
Yeah.
So what else? So Buzz one right now. What else? What else you got going on?
2021, I put out a solo album.
Okay.
It's called Uncle Buzz. You could get on iTunes. It's called Il Mega Mate. And so, if you want to hear more recent stuff, and you appreciate what I do, go check out the Il Mega Mate. I think it's some really good music. And that's a full-length solo album. I have one feature on that album, just one feature on the whole album. I got 13 songs. Features by my brother King Kapu from Camp Projects in Big
nice,
Island.
yeah. Big Island.
King Kapu, bro.
Yeah, shout out
But
to
he's
Clement
in Maui.
Projects.
He's in Maui too.
He's a Maui too now.
Yeah, but that guy's a beast MC.
Yeah.
That's when he's one of the killers. From
So what are
Hawaii.
your thoughts about like Hawaii artists? Why? I mean, the music that we make, you know, what I mean, we don't make it for the general consumption. You know, I don't. You know, I mean, maybe you know what I mean? Like, what is it with the artists nowadays, and why is it nobody really broken through to the mainstream besides like Bruno Mars or anything? You know, I had T's on, and his songs, you know, he made it for a certain genre. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But as in like an MC, you know, like we don't got like a Tasho. Like I always say, Tasho's been the closest MC. You know what I mean? Hip hop that's made it. But besides that, why nobody else?
It's kind of like why wouldn't an MC from Lanai,
Yeah.
unless he lived in Honolulu for a while and really got down, why wouldn't he come to Honolulu and blow up?
Right.
It's the same reason why an MC from Honolulu wouldn't go to New York and blow up.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Unless you were the Bruno Mars of Lanai,
Lanai.
which is like one in a million.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
Bruno
yeah.
Mars, by the way, Roosevelt High School.
Yes,
Shout
yes.
out Bruno Mars.
Yeah. He's like, what, 2000?
Yeah.
He cuts the 2000 or something.
Yeah.
The Bruno Mars of Lanai. Hey, where's the Bruno Mars of Lanai?
There might be one. You never know. man.
Yeah.
That's how I see that, bro.
Right. I always wondered though, because with the amount of like, dude, we had 4 tracks, no social media. You had to be there. You went there. You went to LA. You went on the mic. You took the mic from Ice-T. Not took the mic. Got the mic from Ice-T at UH to spit. Like you literally physically had to put yourself into position to get your music heard. Where now,
Yeah, you have to.
now it's like I'll just put a song out and expect it to hit. But I feel like the lost art of being present is missing with a lot of these newer artists. They feel like,
What's that you never unloaded the record crates from DJ Blast van. You never helped carry the speakers after the show and load the van back up. You never had to keep your eyes peeled if anybody was wearing a certain T-shirt that I gotta go meet that person.
Yeah.
So part of, we're in this digital era, and there's a concept of digital aliens and digital natives, right? And so you and I are digital aliens, right? Because our prime developmental years between 1 and 3 years old, we had we didn't have that in our formatory years. Whereas everybody after a certain year, there's never been a time, even in utero, where they weren't under
That's a digital age.
Yeah. So their whole neurology after the digital natives, their whole neurology, their whole brain wiring is different than ours.
True.
And so it has ramifications on your memory, your senses.
Yeah.
Your perspective, how you look at things. 523-8932. That's Kiwan Park's phone number I remember from 2nd grade. Because you don't have to remember a phone number anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So our faculties are actually diminishing. Sense of direction.
Yeah.
Right? North, south, east, west, right?
Nowadays, Google Maps. 734-4239 is my first phone number on Montserrat Avenue in Kapahulu, up the street from Burgerland.
See? And
Now that you say that, I was like, dude, I know my first phone
right.
number.
And so our faculties are actually different, right?
Yes. Henceforth, the music that's made is different.
Yeah.
The way that they go about who they make the music for, who they push the music to, right? All those things.
All those
the
things,
digital,
yeah.
when you say digital natives,
They're digital
native to it,
natives. Yeah,
but
they're
we're
native
aliens.
We're
to it.
aliens to it. However, I would say that our natural faculties are much more intact.
Yes.
I would also say that our grandparents' natural faculties were likewise much more intact to us, and likewise.
Yeah.
So the negative impact of this digital era is this diminishing the actual human faculty, and then that goes into a whole another thing. Right. But yeah, that's why my music ain't never gonna blow up, because I'm talking about what I'm talking about, bro. Ain't nobody gonna put me on.
Yeah. Well, anyway, on that note, you have anything else you want to add to the podcast? Anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
I think it's really wonderful what PBS is doing to go ahead and document this art form that we call hip hop. It's so important for humans to be able to express themselves. And I remember as a youth at recess, there'd be guys breakdancing and breakdance ciphers. Somebody could draw a piece. Wow. Fred, who was just Fred, you can draw like that, turn into, like I said, a superhero. Like, it really, that's why we love it, because it made just a regular person.
Yeah.
Almost gave you like, yeah. And so that's why it's so important for us to sing and dance and create and draw and love and hula and skate and surf, because that's where we really are human, and that keeps our humanness alive.
Right.
And we have to do it out here in the 3D world.
Yes.
And so that's how important promoters, people who put on events, that's why this stuff is so important, because that's what brings people out the house and into the world.
Yeah.
And so I would like to just say that please understand how important art is. Like PBS is the whole mission of PBS, because that's really what's going to keep us human. And so save the humans. Aloha, everybody.
And on that note, shout out to Buzz One, Boogaloo, Buzz One, J Sonic, MC Forever.
Mahalo for listening to Alanui Mele on PBS Hawaiʻi. Introduction beat by Just One O. You can listen to Alanui Mele on all streaming platforms, and check us on social media at PBS Hawaiʻi or www.pbshawaii.org.